Thanks for inviting us in. It's now 11 o'clock and we begin tonight with breaking news. A deadly shooting outside of a hotel on the southwest side of Indianapolis. Now, we just got an update from IMPD in the last hour. Here's what police are telling us. They believe a woman was killed tonight after an argument in the parking lot of the Red Roof Inn. This is near Lyndhurst and Sam Jones Expressway. Officers tonight are confirming they have not identified a suspect or a person of interest in this particular shooting. Right now, investigators are urging people to put down the guns.
Stop trying to work out your differences with violence. If you're having problems, turn and walk away. It's much better to talk it out. This is permanent. So there's countless lives that are going to be affected by this, that would happen here tonight.
Right now, we're working to learn the identity of the woman who was killed tonight and what sparked this disturbance that led to gunfire. We're going to be following this shooting for you overnight. You can find all of the breaking developments on Sunrise beginning at 4 a.m. Now to our other big story, a weather impact alert tonight. Here's a live look at downtown Indianapolis. Clear and calm, but cold temperatures are dropping to near freezing. But there is some relief on the way. Now, we're going to walk you through the warm-up in a moment. But first, Angela's here, and this is going to be another frosty night. We've got a freeze warning in effect, right?
We have a freeze warning, and you know, if you leave your car outside, you might actually have to scrape the windshield.
Need a scraper.
In a few places. Yes. You mentioned the weather impact alert upgraded when the National Weather Service issued that freeze warning for all of central Indiana. We were talking about the weather impact last night. Just wanted to make sure you knew that there was an alert now tonight into tomorrow morning. That's the when. The impact, low temperatures at or below freezing for a few hours. Get ready for the cold weather. Have that heavy coat. The entire state under a freeze warning as we expect temperatures in the low 30s early tomorrow morning. Forecasting a low of 31 in Muncie and Lafayette, 32 in Columbus, 30 degrees in Bedford. You'll need that heavy coat early tomorrow morning. But yes, there is a warm up on the way. 60s return tomorrow afternoon.
Angela, thanks so much. And of course, you can track this chill in the air when the warmer temperatures arrive, all by using our WTHR weather app. You can check the hourly forecast and get our weather blog anytime. It's a free download. You can find it in the App Store right now. Tonight, a 17-year-old could face prison time if he's found guilty of attempted murder. Today, the judge in the case submitted a not guilty plea on his behalf and set bail for $250,000. Our Chase Howell went to the teen's hearing today and learned that he's already spent time locked up for murder.
It was here in this alleyway between Tuxedo and LaSalle Street where police say Dalton Spaulding, who was 13 at the time, shot and killed a man while trying to rob him. This was the scene from the night investigators say Spaulding killed Dimitri Swan. Court documents say Spaulding, along with Marcus Dalton, went to rob Swan of guns, weed, and an Xbox before he ran out of the house. That's when police say Swan was shot and left to die in the alley behind his home. And according to court documents, Spaulding went to juvie, but what still isn't clear is how long he was there, because in July 2024 in Grant County, Spaulding was arrested for multiple charges, including armed robbery and auto theft. 2 weeks after he was taken into custody for the alleged incident, he was released. Then, a little over 2 months later, he'd find himself back in police custody, this time for attempted murder. Spaulding is accused of shooting a man in the chest during a gun trade on the south side of Indianapolis in September. Court documents state when he tried to rob the man of the gun, Spaulding told him not to try anything because he already has 2 bodies. At this hour, we can only confirm Spaulding killed one person, which was Dimitri Swan. Now, I did reach out to the Department of Corrections to see why Spaulding was released so quickly after murdering someone, but I never heard back. Reporting here in Indianapolis, Chase Howell, 13 News.
Tonight, the Avon community is rallying around a family after a 12-year-old boy was killed in a crash. This happened early Sunday morning. Tonight, investigators are telling us that Braxton Garvin was on his bike at the time on US 36 near Avon Village Parkway. Police tell us the driver stayed at the scene and is cooperating with the investigation. Officers believe this was an accident. Well, we are just hours away now from the jury in the Delphi murders trial being sworn in. All of that will be unfolding tomorrow in Allen County. There are 12 jurors and 4 alternates. Those 16 people are tasked with deciding if the suspect, Richard Allen, is guilty. He's charged with killing Abby Williams and Libby German more than 7 years ago near the Monon High Bridge Trail in Delphi. So after tomorrow, the proceedings will return to Carroll County. That's where we're expecting to hear opening statements beginning on Friday. Now, you can get caught up on this case right now because we've got this Delphi trial special that is streaming on demand over on WTHR+. This is a free download. You can get it on Apple TV, Roku, and on Amazon Fire Stick. Tonight at 11, two more former IU basketball players say they were sexually abused by former team doctor Brad Bomba Sr. during medical exams. So this means there are at least 3 potential victims. Our Logan Gay talked with the attorney for 2 of those former players. Logan's in studio tonight. So what did she say, Logan?
Well, the attorney says they not only filed the lawsuit on behalf of her 2 clients, but also as representatives for a class of people who experienced the same abuse. The 2 former basketball players named in this lawsuit both played for IU in the 90s, Harris Muyezinovich and Charlie Miller. In the complaint, they alleged Dr. Brad Bomba Sr., the doctor for IU athletics at the time, gave them inappropriate and unnecessary prostate exams during their annual physicals. Their attorney, Kathleen Delaney, with Indianapolis-based Delaney & Delaney, says they've not found a suitable reason for these exams.
We do not believe that it was appropriate medically for routine exams to be performed on young, healthy, elite athletes.
Muyezinovich, who was 20 years old at the time, and Miller, who was 17 years old, both claim IU systemically mishandled and turned a blind eye to the sexual abuse complaints made by the basketball players at the time. According to the complaint, Bomba Sr.'s routine sexual assaults were openly discussed by the IU men's basketball players in the locker room in front of IU employees.
I'm very proud of my clients for standing up and speaking out because this is an issue that has affected a lot of people, and it takes a lot of courage to put your name out there and shine a light on the wrongdoing that you experience.
Delaney says a case like this does have its own challenges.
The doctor involved is very old, and so we want to try to get his testimony as soon as possible. But we don't yet know whether medical treatment records still exist for these patient visits where these things occurred.
The class action complaint includes demands for a jury trial and also seeks appropriate monetary relief, but doesn't specify how much. Delaney says they hope IU will take appropriate action and remedy the situation.
This case is very, very similar to cases that have been brought in the past against the University of Michigan and Michigan State University. And in both of those situations, the universities stood up, they got their arms around how big the problem was, and they compensated those victims. And we're hoping that Indiana University will follow the lead that was set by those other Big Ten schools in this case.
So when asked about a potential timeline for this case, she said it could take years. 13 News reached out to IU this afternoon for a comment. A spokesperson referred us to an initial statement they released in September after the first former player came forward. You can read that statement online, and our Karen Campbell talked to a lawyer for another potential victim. You can see that conversation right now at WTHR.com.
Logan, thanks so much. Tonight at 11, employment experts are now reacting to recent comments made by the Republican candidate for lieutenant governor. So at a recent gathering of Republican supporters in Monroe County, Micah Beckwith said if elected, he would fire any state employees who use pronouns in their emails. Those comments came after someone asked Beckwith if he thought there was a deep state in government. He said he did believe that, and one way to spot who was part of it was if they used pronouns in their email. Now, 13 News does not have the rights to the video posted on YouTube tonight, but we watched it. In it, Beckwith says, quoting here, "If I get an email from anyone in my office or in agencies that I oversee as lieutenant governor, and their signature has their email, their pronouns on it, they're going to be gone," right? That's really easy. We're not going to play that. Employment attorney Amber Boyd Moorman says here in Indiana, employers can hire or fire someone for any reason except based on a protected class like sex, sexual orientation, religion, or race.
it can be hard to prove discrimination, but because we can go back to these exact comments where he's saying these things, I think they're setting themselves up, a person up for a pretty easy discrimination case.
13 News reached out to Beckwith's team for further clarification on his recent comments. The campaign issued this following statement, quoting here, "It is disappointing that this comment was taken out of context. Micah Beckwith wants to stop unelected bureaucrats from undermining the agenda of elected officials. He will be basing decisions on job performance." Beckwith's running mate, Senator Mike Braun, who's running for Indiana governor, says if he's elected, his administration will hire and fire people based solely on their merit.